Are we going to begin again continue this topic on forgiveness? Well, Joann, how important is this? This is very important. If you listen carefully, you'll learn how to win when you forgive. You know, when Jesus said, when you pray and you believe that you ask God for something and He will do it for you. If you got something against someone or some person or anything or anybody, you haven't asked them to forgive you, then your prayers will be hindered from reaching God. So in order to get it right with God and be able to get a prayer through, what you need to do is go to that person that you've been carrying this grudge and this envy and can't stand and gets on your nerve and getting bitter and you walk around with it day and night, can't sleep at night and can't rest and can't be peaceful in the day. When you see the person, you hate them even more and you get very bitter. You better go then and there and say, forgive me for whatever I've done to you. Or whatever you've done to me, I forgive you for what you've done. You know, there was two men, and one man couldn't understand. Every time they work at the same place in the business, and one man said, this man seemed not to like him. Every time he see the man, he act like he tries to avoid him, and he didn't want to be bothered with the man. So the other man said, I'm going to go and ask him, this man that had this bad impression about the other man, I'm going to ask him, what has I ever done to you? What have I done to you? Forgive me. And so he goes to the man and he says to him, whatever it is that I did or done to you, will you forgive me? He said, well, I can't think of nothing. Think of nothing? He said, I don't know of anything you've ever done or did to me. He said, but you act like you avoid me and you act like you don't want to be bothered. He said, well, that's because your impression is showing me you don't want to be bothered with me. He said, you haven't did anything to me. So a lot of time we focus on something that is unnecessary, and it don't need to even be inside of us, because it's not going to bring about anything to make life better. It's not going to bring joy. And one thing I can find out, you know, I just love this thing when Christ, how he said, forgive of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And you can tell when Joseph, I just can't forget, after Joseph's father died, the brothers came to him because they dogged him out and mistreated him. They did him everything to him that was the worst could be done to an individual at a young age. So I know you're going to mistreat us and dog us out and put us out because our father is dead. He said to them, I forgive you for what you've done to me. Because whatever, I have to forgive you because it was the works of God working through you to do the things that you were doing. I love you, and it was God's plan for it to work this way. I'll take care of you just as well as it was if Dad was still here. I forgive you. You don't have to fear me. Love you. And all we want to do is fulfill the will of God. I forgive each one of you. I have no grudge, and I'm not holding anything against you. Enjoy your life. Be happy. I'm proud we are together. So when you go around and you just feel so free when you kind of get out of your mind what people do to you. Sometimes you say, I never forgive that person. I will never forgive them. These are some of the worst people in the world. And then not only, there's some people been mistreated by the same person lots of times, many times. But when Peter asked Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brethren that have mistreated me? Jesus says 70 times 7. I mean many times. As often as he come to you and say forgive, that's when you're supposed to forgive him. Because when you don't forgive, this is some of the parables I want to show you what's going to happen when you don't forgive. In every area of your life where you can't or won't forgive, it's a blockage in the flood of your success. It stops you from being successful. And the only way to unlock and unblock this kind of thing that is going on in your mind is to be willing to release the person or the situation with the spirit of gratitude and forgive them and wish them the best. What is that? That's the first step of knowing how to get rid of forgiveness. And if you're carrying a grudge against someone for many years, forgive them. You're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for yourself. You know, Jesus, when he said that he wanted us to forgive, when David had killed for Bathsheba, and the Lord was displeased with David, very displeased. He got rid of Bathsheba's husband. And the Lord said unto Nathan the prophet, go to David, tell him that I'm not satisfied. That was a man. They had about 10 sheep. But he takes the man that this one man had just one sheep. And he takes the man's one little sheep for him. And he already had 10. And when Nathan go to David and talked to him about that, he said, let me know who the man is. He told him exactly what the Bible, the Lord said. And I'll send for him and punish him. And Nathan said, the man is you. You taking one woman, taking this man's wife, and displease God. Then David prayed a prayer in the 51 Psalms. Have mercy upon me, Lord. Forgive me for my sins. Create within me a clean heart and a clean mind. Renew a new spirit in me. Forgive me. God forgave him. Gave him another chance. What is it all about? Ain't no fun in going around being full of grudge and hating folk. The best joy you can get out of life is look at the ugliness of not forgiving and enjoying the good stuff of being of a forgiving heart. If it's your boss, if it's a business deal, if it's the ex-spouse, if it's anybody, whoever it is, whatever it is, if you're divorced, someone left you, if somebody owes you some money and didn't pay you and haven't paid you yet, and someone dogged you out and called you all kind of names, forgive them. Because the day of forgiveness brings a deliverance from you, and you can be to see the difference of the flood of your blood even floods better in your body. Success begins to come before you. Happiness begins to appear. Joy begins to appear. And then you not caring, letting these people take part of your life every day with that same old junk. You don't want that in you. You want to get rid of that. And in order to get rid of the problem that you had with the person, get rid of it by saying, I forgive you, forgive me. then you got the control over your life, control over your mind, and then success will come. Joy will come in the morning. Happiness will appear. You'll see it as the better world with less problems. You know, I was just reading here, let all bitterness in Ephesians 31 and 32. Let all bitterness and wrath, anger, glamour, evil speaking be put away from you, and malice. And be of a tender heart. That's what it said. Be of a forgiving heart, forgiving one another as God has forgiven us through Christ's sake, have forgiven you. Release anyone, anything that is holding you back for not forgiving. Set yourself free. Be happy. Have a happy life. A happy life will become to you if you let go of this not forgiving. Forgiveness. You know, when Job suffered in his life, and his friends called him everything, he was a perfect and upright man. He was a rich man in the land of Earth. And he was blessed with a lot of children, cattle, maidservants. He's the richest man in the land of Earth. And people respected him because he was so rich, but he was righteous as well. But when trouble hit Job, his closest friends turned their back on him and called him. He didn't only lose all his children and his cattle and his family, he lost his health. And the friends came to him and said, you must not be living right. You must have done something very bad to God because you are suffering. Check yourself out and see what is wrong that you have done to God to bring all this affliction on you. But Job said, though God slay me, yet would I trust him. But when God decided to bring Job out of his trials and tribulation, he gave him back more than he had. He gave him double for his troubles. But the Bible said his friends had made God very unhappy. And the Lord said, go to Job and ask Job to forgive you for the evil that you spoke against him. Otherwise, they won't be forgiven. That's what they did. They went to Job and asked for forgiveness. And God forgave them. So whatever you're going up against today, let's learn how to forgive. Let's trust in God and serve a true and living God. And I tell you, when you follow Jesus, you got it all made up. Something new is going to show up when you begin to be of a forgiving heart. Because, you know, some of the effects that you get from all this stuff is just not worth it. As I said, it'll cause migraine, cause headaches, it even cause cancer. It caused a lot of this sickness in the body. Most evil thoughts. And mostly when you can a lot of junk that it ain't going to profit nothing in your life, in your body, it don't do nothing for the body. And it don't do nothing for the mind. So if you want to set you free, wish the person that have done you wrong or did you wrong the best of everything. If someone have mistreated you and been dogging you out all your life, forgive them. If someone been owing you something for a long time, forgive them. If your name been on the highway and talked about, forgive them. If someone have left you at a needed time, forgive them. Whatever you do, forgive them. In order to prosper, to be successful, and be happy, you must learn how to forgive. And that's the reason that we brought up forgiveness, because it's a key to open the door of a better life, a successful life, a prosperous life. And when you forgive everyone who ever did anything that, and you've been carrying that grudge for a long time, you find out that you're free. You're not in prison anymore. And you're not waking up feeling bad or forsaken. And today I give you a hint. Take this seriously. Release anyone, anything that is holding you back from not forgiving. Free yourself and be happy, and life will become once more one of the best things ever happened to you when you let go of not forgiving. And when you start doing that, you see the things that you want in life already yours. And these things become to you because you clean yourself out from not being depressed for holding something against anyone. And this will begin to bring things that you need into your life to fulfill your joy. Don't let these little things, like not forgiving, be a hindrance to your moving forward. In order to move forward, because sometimes you say to yourself, these people have really dogged me out. And I can't get, you say what you want, but it's hard to forgive. It's a difficult thing for me to do. I cannot do it. And you could talk about it all day and all night. I can't do it. But you must do it in order to be free. And then you make a big step within yourself. You kill that monster of not forgiving and be of a forgiving heart. And then you'll be more like Jesus. You'll be more like his child, and then you'll feel free. And then this person won't be a burden in your life. Neither will it be a conflict in your life. Neither will it keep you from sleeping at night. And when you see them coming, you don't want to see them coming, because some folk you don't want to see coming. You're going to have to ask God for strength and help, and ask him to help you to learn how to be of a forgiving heart, how to forgive people, how to just look at them and say, wish them the best, although they haven't wished you the best, although they have put you in some kind of difficult spot, and you just can't see yourself forgiving them, but you find out the more you forgive, the more you feel free. And the more you forgive the other person, the better your life will be. And success will begin to come in. And the thing that you really want will be able to show up. And the main thing you want to know is, I can get a prayer through. Because Jesus had told you, Mark 11:23 or 24, 25, when you pray and you believe, you can say to the mountain, be thou cast into the sea. And if you believe that, it'll do exactly what you say. But first, you must go to your brother. If you've got a grudge against your brethren, go to him first and ask him to forgive you. Or you forgive him for whatever it is that you're going up against. Because otherwise, that is a block that stops your prayers from being heard from God. God would not hear you. He do not answer prayers when you don't know how to forgive. So that's why he's saying, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. That is the important part of that prayer. And when people forget, most people forget to forgive themselves sometimes. You know, a lot of us just punish ourselves for something we made a mistake in or something we did wrong. And we haven't learned, we punish ourselves constantly because we don't believe a person can be forgiven. But you got to learn to forgive yourself for your mistakes. Forgive yourself for your wrong probably you've done. We all have come across times in life we have made a mistake. But forgive yourself. That's the next thing to do. Don't punish yourself. And then another thing is, don't hold on to the past. Wonder why so-and-so did this. And why did so-and-so do that to me? Let it go. You know, this is a new day, a new year, new time. If it happened 3 or 4 years ago, it's time to let it go. If it happened yesterday, it's time to let it go. Be of a forgiving heart, because that's what God wants us to do. And that's why he keeps focusing that word on, love ye one another. Forgive one another. Help one another. Be there when one needs the other. And do all you can to love your brother. And then one thing, when you make a mistake, forgive him. Don't be so hard on people when they make mistakes. Because sometimes they have to go through a learning process. I'm learning how to love folk, how to do good things to others. And you know, you never lose anything when you do good. When you sow good seeds in anyone's life, anybody's life, those seeds will sprout up and bloom in your life. You see prosperity coming from places you've never seen before. You'll see miracles happening in your life when you do the right thing. I can't understand it. We don't understand how Jesus could say, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I often wonder, why would he say that? But he's love. He's a forgiving God. He knew they didn't know what they were doing. Because if they had knew who he was, they would have never put him up there. And Jesus said again when he was praying, when you pray, our Father which art in heaven, the Lord will bless you. And you know, it says right here, when you begin to throw out good stuff and good things for people, you feel better. And then you begin to bring a lot of good joy in your life. You move the blockage that is in your way. You move all the stumbling blocks out of your way. You look at people that have did you wrong, and then you say, most people forget to forgive themselves as they forgive others. So we're speaking on forgiveness. I think it's a good topic. And if you listen to what it's all about, all they do is a short period just get it uprooted. And go to the individual and stand the test and say, I'm sorry, forgive me. And don't hold that grudge any longer. Get rid of it. Make a new start. And don't let these people wear your mind out for years and years holding that same old stuff. You want to be a better person. You want to be a better individual. You want to enjoy the beauty of God's world. Experience the happiness. You know, to be happy is one of the greatest things in the world. And to have joy. And to have peace. And when you got peace and love and joy, and you can lay down and get a good night's sleep from loving folk and treating people right, think about somebody you can help. Somebody you can do some good for. Think about going out doing good for others and not be caught up on yourself all the time. Because when you step out and do good for others, then you're doing the work of God. You understand what I mean? You're doing the will of the Lord when you step out there. Because when you step out there and remember somebody don't have anything, then you saying, I'm trying to walk right, live right, do good to others, and pray for those that despitefully use me. Our Father, which art in heaven, we are going to pray a prayer right now for those and ask God to forgive you. Our Father in heaven, you say, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Help us to be led not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We thank you, Father, for the blessings you have given us, the blessings yet to come. We thank you for hearing and answering prayers at needed times. We thank you for giving us our sins and our transgression and how we have displeased you so many times and how we have came short so many times. Help us to glorify your name and give praises to your most high name. Now we're going to hear the Pullman singers sing. Pray when you're feeling low.
Oh, pray when you're feeling low, when you're feeling slow. Don't forget to pray. And pray when you go to bed. Count your daily bread. Don't forget to pray. You cannot wait to a beautiful morning. When you have troubles, remember this morning. Pray until Judgment Day. You don't have the devil to pay. If you only open up the good books, find some swiftly, brothers and sisters. Why don't you listen to me? You gotta get ready. Oh, pray when you feeling low. When you feeling slow. Don't forget to pray. And pray.
For your prayer request or to donate a seed offering to our These Changing Times program, please visit www.thesechangingtimes.myevent.com or contact jpullmanministries@hotmail.com or send to P.O. Box 1742, Annandale, Virginia 22003. Thank you.